Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the top stories of our edition tonight. Our headlines are the end of the high-level meeting on the Djiboutian economy. On continental news, several dozen deaths in violence in Burkina Faso. There were our top stories, and now let's get to the detail. The presidential retreat continued today, still under the leadership of the head of state, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh. The high-level meeting, which brought together all members of the government, the president's cabinet, and tradition and international experts, aim to paint a general framework for the diversification of the country's economy. This morning, the experts continued their presentations and members of the government took part at this meeting. The Pimondu Malaysia President Idris Jala presented ways to strengthen policies into results. His presentations was an example of Malaysia and its program of transformation. In other words, the agenda of the government based on a pillar on the improvement of student results, improving the standard of living of low-income households, improving basic infrastructure in rural areas, and improving urban public transport. Recall that the ultimate goal of the 2 days conclave under the auspices of the President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, to define the contours of an ambitious program of development of all the sectors of our country in order to prepare Djibouti tomorrow, pleasantly able to attract large investment and creators of wealth and job. The expert from the World Bank has achieved capital projections that the President of the Republic has followed with great interest. The development model of Singapore based on exemplary social housing policy, relationship and relations, and the private sector transport as well as infrastructure of the world of tomorrow. And finally, Professor Sidin Dao of the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, who projected an important presentation, this time the role of the manufacturing industry and its relationship with the digital. The Minister of Economy, Mr. Yasmus Dawale, so in his part presented the ways and means of translating policies into results. This presentation said there was an example of the case of Malaysia and its program of transformation. In other words, the government's agenda based on pillar on improving student outcomes, improving living standard, and improving basic infrastructure in rural and improving also urban public transport. The ambassador is extraordinary of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Saudi, Mr. Diaidin Bamakhrama, which received yesterday. Mr. Mohammed Salah, the Minister of Hajj and Umrah. Discussions focus on the preparation of pilgrimage and in particular the case of Djiboutian pilgrims. The director of the ODEC, Dr. Qayad Musib, received the representatives of the World Bank, the AFD, and the ADP in his office. The interview has been drawn at the seat of ODEC. The discussions were on the ways and means that could enhance their relationship and collaboration in the field of geothermal energy. The ODEC director presented the different outcome of different projects to know the development of the geothermal energy between the different institutions in Djibouti. The NGO Mahbani systematically launched 2 training workshops for associations in this region at Jura and Ubah, with the assistance of UNDP as part of the Global Environment Fund microfinancing program. And Tajura, the ceremony took place at the CDC Tajura in the presence of Deputy Prefect, Mr. Secretary General of the Regional Council of the Secretary of the NGO Mahabani, as well as about 50 leaders and associates the movement of Tajura. In Obak also, the same ceremony was held at the Regional Council in the presence of the Vice President of Obak Regional Council, the head of prefecture, and the representative of the NGO Muhabbani and the leaders of association. The training, lasting 1 week in each country and under the auspices of UNDP, is aimed primarily at straining association capacity by inculcating good governance, planning, and also implementations of activity monitoring, evaluation, as well as drafting technique and etc. The major objective of this training is to be able to act and to face the hard realities of executions of projects while transmitting their skills on the ground to their active members. The Djibouti International Airport hosted this morning a closing ceremony of core and X-ray imaging held at the premises of the Gendarmerie Air Transport, chaired by Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of the Staff of the National Gendarmerie. This ceremony was attended by the Director General of the airport, also the Director of Air Djibouti, as well as the internal security. During his address, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, congratulated the trainers and the French infrastructure instructors of Logicsy. Djibouti just lost one of its great pioneers of audiovisual and literature. Is the death of Omar Said Billah occurred yesterday in Parisian's hospital in France. Engineer in the field of audiovisual, he started his activity in August 1986 at the RTD. Then he became the head of the radio center, and then head of program department, director of communications from 2002 to 2005. From 2005 today, he was general director of the People Palace. He was also secretary general of Somali Pen, where he contributed greatly to the writing of the Somali language dictionary. And now let's move on continental news. The Ethiopian airline Boeing 737 MAX accident investigations preliminary results were presented Thursday by the Ethiopian authorities. The Ethiopian Airlines pilot who crashed on March 10, killing 157 people, repeatedly executed Boeing's recommended emergency procedures, but failed to regain control of the aircraft, say Thursday the Ethiopian Minister of Transport. The crew repeatedly performed all the procedure provided by the manufacturer, but they were unable to regain control of the aircraft, said Dagmawit, Minister of Transport. Here we arrive at the end of this news editions. Thank you for watching us. Goodbye.